Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too, and let's crack on with today's first story. Much love, guys. Now, our first story comes from Valuable Channel 522 from the Am I the Arsehole Here subreddit. It says, Am I the Arsehole Here for being upset my husband shared a hotel room with another woman. My 36 female husband, 42 male, is currently in Las Vegas for a national bowling tournament. He is there with his mum and her friends and folks from their bowling league. He's an avid bowler, bowls in a Tuesday night league, often in state tournaments and sometimes in national tournaments. Typically I go with and sometimes bowl myself. This year we decided I would not go but stay at home with our three boys, ages 4, 8, 10. Due to heat and smoke in Vegas in July. My husband and I have been married for 11 years. This is his second marriage. His first marriage failed because he walked on and his wife cheating on him with another man. I have never, not once, thought that he would ever be intimate with another woman while he was with me. He's just not that type. So on this trip, typically when he goes on a trip without me, at least once a year given my job and time off requirements, he stays in a hotel room with his mum or our boys. 3 nights ago, I was on FaceTime with him while he was in his hotel room. It was really nice and he was talking about possibly taking a nap for lack of sleep. I asked if he had the room to himself, because that would have been awesome. And he said, oh no, this person is sharing with me. I asked him who that was and he said something I don't remember aside from she. I said, wait, what? And then he went on to explain that he was supposed to share the room with his mum's boyfriend, but plans changed and now he's sharing the room with another woman on the trip. He told me that I played cornhole with her last month at a get-together. I reminded him who I had played cornhole with, him and a girl, but not one with the name he was giving me. I had no idea who this woman is, at which point he got very confused. He did not understand why I was upset or frustrated, so I dropped it because I did not want to deter from his time and his bowling. I know I should have asked how he would have felt if the roles were reversed, but I didn't. Partly because I didn't want to fight. We hardly ever fight, while the kids were up, and partly because I didn't want to hear him chalk it up to my imagination. I've hardly slept since that night, and my dreams have been chock full of worst case scenarios. And still, I have not really brought it up again. There have been a few occasions on which he has talked about taking naps and how lame he is in Vegas. I've mentioned a few times, sort of sarcastically as a side, that he'd be having more fun if he was sharing a room with me, or if I was there instead of his present company. But he has brushed it all aside. So here we are. He spent the last 3 nights in a hotel room with a woman that is not me or his mother. Am I the arsehole for being upset? In OP's position, I would find myself upset at the same time. Of course, there's every chance from what we're seeing here it's totally innocent and it's just something that happened last minute, so they just went with it. But still, you would inform your partner about the case and gauge how they're feeling about it. Discovering this out of the blue is going to be upsetting and concerning, and you're like, hold on a second, what the hell, like OP was. But Winterfront says, he should have spoken to you first, not told you. Call him and tell him how you feel. Say you're not accusing him, it just hurt and honestly felt weird when he didn't mention sharing a room with another woman. Hey, I have to share a room with XYZ because XYZ happened. Absolutely. Trixie says, not the arsehole for being upset. I think most people would be. However, you should talk to him about it. It's not good you're keeping these feelings to yourself. Be honest about your feelings and ask him the question if he'd feel comfortable if you'd share a room with a male friend. Just to make him see your point. Communication is key in any relationship, so you should be able to talk about it without issues. Lucille Brawl says, yep, OP needs to call him and tell him it bothers her. Not just that they're sharing a room, but that he didn't disclose the information immediately. Sophia says, not the arsehole for being upset. Your husband is sharing a hotel room with another woman, and this situation raises valid concerns and insecurities, especially given his past with infidelity. While he may not have any ill intentions, it's understandable that you're feeling hurt and anxious. His confusion about your reaction and his dismissive attitude towards your concerns are not helpful and can further fuel your insecurity. Melody Cricket says, not the arsehole. Husband should have the common sense to get his own room or make other arrangements. This is totally weird and strange, and definitely ask him how he'd feel if you sharing a hotel room with another man in Vegas or anywhere else. Married men should not share hotel rooms with other women, other than mom or wife, and same goes for married women. I would have demanded he get his own room regardless of cost, or if he had to go to another hotel. This situation is so not cool. I can't believe you just sulked in silence and not done something about it. You need to discuss this with him ASAP. The OP came in with a first update and said, okay, so I took some advice and grew a backbone. I texted him a little while ago instead of waiting until he got home. He and our boys are leaving for another trip tomorrow morning. I could not get the time off of work. So I wanted to make sure we had the conversation fully before he left again. Before I give the update, I wanted to make a couple of things clear. I do trust my husband. He has never shown he would be the kind of person to cheat, and that is not what truly concerned me, even though I did have some pretty unpleasant dreams. My issue was that he was not upfront and honest with me. If I had done the same thing, he would have lost his mind, understandably. This is why I started the original post with, he's just not that type. We do generally have great communication. The issue is here that I like to have this kind of conversation face to face rather than over the phone. It's just not something I like to hash out while we're not in the same space. Obviously, in this situation, I should have made the exception and have now done so. Now, for the update. I texted him today to tell him that this situation has been bothering me for the last 3 days. I had questions and we needed to have this conversation. I asked him who the woman was, how old she was, and why didn't he tell me about the situation before I found out by accident. There was a mix-up with the rooms. Something about not going so people were shuffled. He was paired with a woman about my age. He said he didn't think it would be a big deal and didn't want to inconvenience everyone else on the trip. He also said he did not want to upset me, which is why he didn't right out tell me about it. He did tell me that I never had anything to worry about and he made sure they weren't in the room alone together aside from when they were sleeping. I know, but I really do believe him on this. I was honest with him and told him that if the roles were reversed, out of respect for him, I would have called him right away to make sure he was okay with it. I told him that while I trust him implicitly, I should not have found out the way I did, and he should not have blown off my concern. I told him the lack of upfront communication felt suspicious, regardless of intention or what actually happened. As for not upsetting me, I told him I would have understood and not been upset if he had just been honest. He's apologized profusely. I told him next time to just communicate. He's adamant there will not be a next time. So call me naive all you want, but I'm dropping it at this point. He'll be home this evening and I intend on having a nice evening with him before I don't see him again for another 2 weeks. Thank you for the advice. I cried it out when I found out her age, but getting this off my chest has been very relieving. Husband is coming home tonight and we will talk. I'm hoping his 82-year-old grandma. Opie came back in with another update 6 days later and said, I'm not handling this as well as I thought I was. I had decided to let it go. I know he wasn't doing anything with this other woman. You can disagree and call me crazy if you'd like, but I do know that. However, as much as I've tried, I can't get past the fact that he made the decision to do something he knew I wouldn't be okay with and not tell me about it. It all feels just so messed up. I've talked to a few of my co-workers. I don't really have any friends that aren't friends of his that I talk to on a regular basis. There is no way I will talk to my family because that is a shitstorm I can't handle right now. And they are all shocked and more angry for me than I've let myself be. Most of them know him, the kind of person he is and what ended his first marriage. He used to work at the same company. We had less than 24 hours together before he, his mum, and all 3 of my children took their trip to the other side of the United States. I've been sitting in my feels and will continue to do so until they get back, almost another week from now. I was on the phone with them this evening before they went to bed, and one of the first things my husband said to me was, I'm sharing a bed with a redhead tonight. Oh, dearie me. And I almost came unglued before I realized he was talking about one of our boys. We have 3 sons. After a very long pause, I said, you better be talking about, and I was so angry I didn't understand how he didn't pick up on that. Every conversation we have had has been short and to the point because I'm really just not interested in talking to him. I've been calling my oldest son and talking with my boys instead. His mum hasn't really said much to me, which makes me think he has said something to her, which is fine of course, I really don't care about that. Bottom line is, I don't know what to do. It is midnight at home. I tried to go to bed 2 hours ago and I could not stop sobbing. So I got up and let it go. It felt good to get it out, but I know I need to talk to someone. I have support lines through work I can call, but won't tonight. Far too many drinks and I don't want to bring that into it as well, but I will call tomorrow. I know I should be upset and angry and not let it go, but I'm afraid when I do talk to a professional that they will say I'm blowing it out of proportion. I will still call, but I need to get my head straight first. He's cycling for 7 days, over 400 miles. So as much as I want to tear him a new one right now, especially after his completely insensitive and clueless joke this evening, I have not, because I want him home, safe and sound. Regardless of my feelings in this moment, the most important thing is that my children's dad comes home safe so we can hash this out, at least in the same city, not while he's 1,000 miles away with his mum and my children. So, the top comments on that one, Illustrator Slow says, that joke is horrendous. He has no respect for you at all. Opie says it sure does feel that way right now. Turbulent Ebb says, damn, making a joke about it like that this soon after. No Thanks says, so gross. It feels like the joke was to downplay what he did with a co-worker. It's insensitive, manipulative, and downright disrespectful. Ugh, dearie me, when he read that joke, my palm was like literally on my forehead. I was like, come on man, read the room. There were some comments talking about the joke saying that he might have been just like trying to sort of like break the ice or, you know, get rid of some of the tension. But that only works if you've got that kind of relationship, if you know how the other person will react to it. This is his wife. He knows that she may be feeling a bit insecure about things right now and then makes that joke. I was just like, oh, dearie me. Nara pointed out some other points that Nara felt there were red flags at the same time. They quoted a section and said, what? She has no friends of her own. Her co-workers know her husband well enough to know how his first marriage ended. Guessing not well by the way she wrote that. His mum is suddenly not talking to her. He made an insensitive joke. Anyone else getting some red flags and concerns here? So I've discovered a bit of information from one of Opie's comments where someone was asking Opie, you know, what's your gut telling you? Opie responded saying, my gut is telling me that he didn't cheat on me. 100% I am not worried about that. But given we have both been cheated on, and he knows that, he should have told me instead of me finding out by accident. That is what is eating at me. I've never asked this question before. But what else is he not telling me because he knows it will upset me? I always struggle with when people say that, I don't want to tell my partner because it will upset them. Yes, of course, you don't want to upset your partner, but the risk level there is just insane. When they find out, like OP did in this situation, it raises all kinds of insecurities because you're hiding information from them. And then the joke he made at the same time, especially given the context about the cheating, is just wild. Why would you say such a thing? But anyway, now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below, and let's move on to another story. Now, our next story comes from Sugarlessmama from the Am I the Arsehole Here subreddit and says, am I the arsehole for telling my vegan friend who doesn't drink I'm tired of catering to her choices? My 50 female friend Lauren, 46 female, is a vegan who doesn't drink. That's awesome and I have no issue with that. The problem is that she's part of a small group of friends who don't get out very often, but when we do, it always has to be limited due to Lauren's choices. We live in an area where our food choices suck to begin with, so having to go eat where she can be satisfied is very limited. There really isn't much to do otherwise at night. In addition, she gets upset when any one of us eats something that has an obvious meat to it. For example, she doesn't say anything if we get a soup with chicken or something, but if we ordered a hamburger, she would cause drama. Then she doesn't drink, which is no big deal. But she will then send us videos of the harmful effects of alcohol if we get a drink or two with dinner. It has gotten on my nerves to say the least. It has been a while now, so I'm done with everyone catering to her needs. I've tried inviting everyone to specific places and invite Lauren as well. Then she puts into a group chat, "Hey ladies, since I can't eat at X, why don't we go to Y?" And of course, the other ones decide we should go to Y instead. I've backed off of going out because I don't want to spend money on food that sucks. Remember, it's vegan, not vegetarian, so it's very limiting. And it's expensive, or have my intelligence questioned by sending shit about the effects of alcohol, as if we're not old enough to know or Google it. I barely drink anyway, but enjoy a glass or two every so often. She asked why I keep bailing, so I told her, I respect your choices, but by the very nature of them, they have limited mine. Being that I don't have the ability to go out often, nor unlimited funds, I'm only going to go when I know the entire experience will be what I want. So if I'm in the mood for a steak and vodka tonic, I want to be able to have them in a relaxed atmosphere, and that obviously bugs you. If I'm in the mood for a salad and water, I will gladly join you, or we can just hang out at the beach when we have time during the day. She didn't like that too much. She said that isn't what friendship is about, and I should enjoy the company enough not to care. I told her that I understood and would gladly hang out with her when food or drink isn't in question because it's too expensive not to enjoy it. She said that there is nothing else to do around here, and I asked if it's just about friends, then maybe she can eat first and join us out sometimes, and other times we can go to where she wants. Then she told me that she's not going to sit around watching people eat meat. I said, okay, I get it, and you need to get that I'm not catering to your needs each time I'm free to hang out. I later got a text from a mutual friend that Lauren was upset. She agreed with me because she was tired of the same shit. Of course, this friend doesn't like conflict, so just listen to Lauren. So, am I the arsehole for not wanting to continue to eat food I don't like or refrain from having a drink or two to keep the peace here? Or am I right in feeling like she's being selfish, expecting the rest of us to do what she's comfortable with each time? Quote, "That isn't what friendship is about. You should enjoy the company enough not to care." How ironic. And I have absolutely no issue with vegetarians, vegans, or anything else, to be quite honest. And I would absolutely go to a restaurant that is more suited to vegans or vegetarians every once in a while as, you know, friendship, all that kind of stuff. But there has to be a balance. And the fact that she's sending you these messages about meat and stuff like that and the harmful effects of alcohol would piss me right off. And I'd be done with that nonsense pretty quickly. But Low Razmataz says, not the arsehole, but drop the friends that don't like conflict. Why surround yourself with spineless morons? Opie says true. It was all getting on my nerves and why I was happy not going anymore. However, I sometimes wonder if I'm an arsehole when others just easily bend to other people. I appreciate that. Okay, understanding says not the arsehole. Lauren is an arse though. The condescending comments about meat and alcohol is beyond me. Opie replies saying the alcohol really pissed me off. It was such a self-righteous type of behavior to me. Karma says not the arsehole. She's exactly right. That isn't what friendship is about, and so why can't she enjoy hanging out with her friends who are allowed to eat and drink whatever they want? Or she eats and drinks what she wants? I'm sorry, there's probably not a great ending here, but the way she's framed the situation can easily be turned around back on her. So she's not right, neither is she wrong. It just may be that you two are incompatible as friends. Opie replies saying yes, I'm feeling we are not a good fit. To be honest, I'm working hard on setting boundaries, but sometimes I question if I'm not going overboard, especially when many other women my age seem to just go along with something. I felt like she was being extremely selfish, but thought I could be missing something and why I asked. Opie on if she had a problem with Lauren being vegan and doesn't drink. Opie says no. The problem is that I'm expected to become a vegan and not drink in her presence. I don't care what she does, but she cares what I do and the other women as well. Opie on the food choices in the area. Opie says nice try. I live in a small beach town. There is shitty food to begin with, so the options are extremely limited here. So I can't tell you how many salads I have been limited to eating while going out with her. There is no solely vegan restaurants and very few that have vegan options. She doesn't make it worthwhile to listen to negativity to get what you actually want. So that leaves fucking salad. So because you misinterpret what I meant or assume the worst in people doesn't mean you are right. Fucking fame? Seriously. Damn, I thought my life was pretty lame just asking this question, and to think that somebody thinks I'd actually make this shit up. For fuck's sake. So OP comes in with her update and says, "Update, thank you so much to the countless people who commented on my post shown below. You made me realize that I wasn't an arsehole and shouldn't have to put up with her BS. Many asked how I put up with it for so long. I didn't have a good answer, but it was more about the group itself, where I didn't want to create drama. My experience with friends has been lucky, as most everyone has been loving, fun, and selfless. We can also call each other out on BS by busting chops and laugh. This is my first group who met semi-regularly, and the others are very sweet to where I felt uncomfortable rocking the boat. Anyway, yesterday it was a bazillion degrees out here in Florida, and I was playing tennis with Lauren and 2 others. We were dying. I didn't normally play with her, but these women are all on my team I joined coming up in the fall, so we needed to start practicing. No, I did not join because of Lauren. Lol. I've played against the other 2 throughout the years, and they've been asking me to play for a long time now. I live in a small area, so it's common for circles mixing like this. One of the ladies had to stop due to dizziness, cramping, and nausea. We all decided that we should only play much earlier in the summer, except of course Lauren, who didn't want to wake up early because she said she doesn't play well then. That's when I had it. With the power of thousands of random Reddit strangers in my head, I basically told her off. I told her I've never met someone so self-absorbed in my entire life. It was disgusting that she would even think that way in front of a teammate who clearly had heat exhaustion, let alone have it come out of her mouth. I said all this while her ass is sitting down while the other woman and I got a cold wet towel for this woman and getting her to drink. Lauren stormed off. These other 2 thanked me. One was her usual partner who is the sweetest person alive and said she's been wanting to tell her off for a year now. The other one who was feeling like shit and said she is going to tell the captain that she needs to go because she is like a cancer on the team. I'm very happy to say that I will not be dealing with her selfish BS any longer. She can go shove a carrot up her ass for all I care. Lol. Thanks so much everyone. Tonight I'm going to have a giant hamburger and a cold beverage in your honor. Cheers." OP on a comment about not respecting Lauren's wishes and trying to make this whole thing about herself and not Lauren, and said, "I did say something and suggested other things. She wasn't having it. I wasn't pouting. We are busy and have lives, so this isn't the end of the world, and I was quite happy with that choice. I kindly told her my feelings, and she told me I wasn't being a good friend because it isn't about the food. So then why do we have to eat her shit every time then? I wasn't hurt over the videos. It was fucked up to cross other boundaries like that, as she was some self-righteous queen of health. She's controlling, as thousands have pointed out. That should be clear with her not budging on playing in the mornings after her teammate got sick from the heat. 1. I spoke with her already calmly and nicely. She never budged and only expected me to continue to bend to her needs, inferring I was not a good friend. I still ended that conversation in a respectful manner, then learned that she goes to a mutual friend to bitch about me. 2. It was after the above that I felt she was extremely selfish, but I still wasn't sure because she turned it around on me. That's why I came here to Reddit. 3. I didn't go off on her about the food. I went off on her because there was a woman about to throw up due to extreme heat. While another woman and myself were trying to cool her down and make sure she was okay, Lauren made it again about her. She sat there bitching about not wanting to play earlier because she doesn't play good early in the morning. By the way, that is complete bullshit because the matches start early in the mornings and she's played on this league for many years. I'm sorry, but you must be extremely infuriating to anyone who needs your help and needs you to listen. You fill in gaps to stories that don't exist. You assume what people are feeling and why they have done certain things and then come across in a very pompous manner that you are correct. Yes, you are absolutely correct to the shit you literally made up in your head. However, you're very far off from what happened to me, how I felt, and why I acted the way I did. I'm not sure how you guys feel about this one, but it didn't really feel like in the end it was about the food, about being vegan or anything like that. It just sounded like Lauren is a very self-absorbed individual that if she doesn't get her way, she's going to kick up a fuss in some form, like for the tennis stuff and complaining while a friend of hers has got heat exhaustion. Gee bloody whiz. But now I'm going to turn this one to you guys, 2 sports-based stories. We have bowling and tennis at the end there. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories. Your love, your support, your time always means the absolute world to me. And hopefully, I will see you in the next one. Take care and much love.
Wake up, get up, stretch my legs, eat some breakfast, milk and eggs, brush my teeth up, wash my face, throw my clothes on, start my day. Wake up, I can smell the smoke from the bacon. Let's go, see the sun shining from the windows. Okay, I know that today'll be a good day. Okay, I know that today'll be a good